Hey folks, and welcome to TK Power Sports. Today we're having a closer look at this, the Argo Magnum Pro 500 XTX. Now this is the commercial version of this unit, so it might be small, but it is meant for hard work. And in this video, we're gonna put it to the test. We'll do a walk around, we'll look at all the features, and then we'll hit the trail and see how it handles, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's start by going over the size. So this unit measures in with a length of 106.3 inches, a width at 56.7 inches, and an overall height at 72.8 inches. Ground clearance is measured at 10 inches, while the wheelbase here sits at 72 inches. And if you're wondering what it weighs, well, the wet weight with all the fluids is 1,332 pounds. Let's look at the features here now. Now, because this is the Pro model, like I said, this is meant for commercial grade outfits. So you're getting some upgrades. First of all, you get the integrated winch down there in the front, 3,000 pound winch. The color too is unique to the Pro units, sort of lets you know that it's a commercial unit. Now, when it comes to suspension, things are pretty standard here. Dual A-arms in the front and the rear. Up front, you're getting 6.9 inches of travel. In the back, 6.8 inches of travel, and a set of 25-inch Duro tires on some nice steel wheels there. So yeah, nothing sort of different about that. And I should mention at this point that this ATV, this side-by-side, was developed in partnership with Kimco. So they're also responsible for a lot of what you see here. And the big thing with any of these machines is the fact that we have a dump bed. So you can dump it from just one side. And I will say, compared to a lot of the machines we've tested lately, the assist shocks here feel really, really robust, really, really beefy, like they're doing quite a bit of work. And even though it's a small machine, the size of that bed is really not too bad. So talking about dimensions, we're looking at 46 inches wide, 29.75 inches long, and 11.5 inches deep. So like I said, a good size. I like how deep it is. There are D-rings in the corners. You get these steel latches to drop that tailgate down to, and it is actually a proper metal bed, and then you've got this rubberized sort of floor mat down in here to sort of hold things in. I'm sure you could spray this box too with bed liner if you wanted to. One other cool feature is over here on the tailgate at the very back, sort of in your traditional truck position. There's a latch, and you get a little trunk there built into the tailgate. So I definitely like that feature as well. More storage on a utility unit is always important. And then looking down below, I already mentioned the dual A-arms back here, plus you are getting your 2-inch hitch receiver. Let's look inside now. First of all, the door nets, sort of old school. There's a clip up top. Most side-by-sides have that, but most of them have gone away from the lower clip. Here we still have that, so 2 clips, and that opens up. Now before I climb in, I want to show you under seat access, because this is, yeah, most of your critical maintenance systems are down here. So this is a 443cc single-cylinder 4-stroke engine. You can see your air box right there, so you can get into your air filter. Your CVT is just down below, so changing out a belt. Over here at the driver's seat, this is just a huge storage bin in here. I'll stick my arm in. This thing is deep, man. So you can fit quite a bit of stuff in there. And then same thing on the passenger side. We have our winch controller in there, but if you need storage, you can get in there too. I really like this access though down into the engine. A lot of side-by-sides, the engine's a little further back, so you're kind of working underneath the box. Here, you don't have to do that. Just pop your seat off, and you can basically get to everything you need to. Then this slides back like so, and clips back down. So let me climb in now. Interior here, dead simple. I have my shifter down here, a winch controller right here. We do have 12-volt power, which I appreciate there. And then that's the hookup for your winch controller. On my left side, I have lights, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive lock, so you can lock up your front differential. Yeah, controls, like I said, dead simple. When it comes to storage, we do get a glove box right there. Not too big, but still nice to have it. And then a big storage bin down here in the center. I appreciate any extra storage we can get on a utility machine, so that's nice. And then 2 cup holders sorted down below. And I keep saying it, you know, dead simple is the way this thing comes across, so I'm excited to take it for a ride now and see how it feels. Okay folks, now for the ride. So we're actually out here today on a farm. So we have some sort of rough bush, some rough property, and then we have a couple farm fields we can run through. So we can get a pretty good feel for this. And again, this is the commercial version of this side-by-side. In a farm, a ranch, this might be exactly the kind of area where something like this is purchased. And let me say, the first reason why you'd come to something like this is the overall size. It's so small and maneuverable. It's not quite 50 inches, you're a little bit wider than that, so a little wider than an ATV is, but still, if you really need to squeeze in some tight spots, this is exactly the sort of machine you want to go for. Now I've got it in low range right now. And you know what, yeah, climbing some steep hills here, power out of this little 500 feels good. It's pretty robust. Power delivery, linear, smooth, but also strong. This is sort of the kind of power I'd say it's more than enough for what this thing needs to do. This is definitely plenty of power. Now the other positive I will say here are the ergonomics inside. I fit well in here, and if I have a full-size adult sitting next to me, we're actually not rubbing elbows. So again, this is just a little bit bigger than sort of the smallest category of side-by-sides, and I appreciate that you're not really, it doesn't feel small, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't feel tiny and cramped or anything like that. So I have it in low range. Let me go over here to high range now. The other thing I want to bring up is this shifter. It's super easy to shift. It's just super smooth. There's no struggling. There's no rocking the machine to get the gear you want. You just put it in the gear you want. It's right there. So that's pretty cool too. Now we're in high range, just on a gravel road. Yeah, the power delivery is not going to blow you away, but it gets you up to speed plenty quickly. Now, I am running in 4-wheel drive. You can lock up your front differential if you want. One important point I have to make though is the rear diff is always locked and there is no turf mode here. So essentially when you're doing tight corners, if you're doing them on a piece of property or a piece of grass that you don't want to rip up, well, that's not going to work for you. So yes, no turf mode. That would be a nice feature to see added. Now the other thing I feel when the speeds pick up is the suspension travel. Not monster travel numbers here. And again, for what this machine is meant for, you don't really need huge suspension travel numbers, but you can find the limits of that suspension pretty quickly. On a gravel road, it's fine. Right here, it handles fine. But up ahead where it gets a little rougher, you'll be really feeling the bouncing. Like right here, now we're out in the field. Oh yeah, and you can just feel the roughness. The other thing you can feel is the short wheelbase. You get sort of the front to back bucking. It's very apparent, so the rear end kind of jumps up on you. And that's where, yeah, you know, almost 7 inches of travel. It's not terrible, but it's just not enough for sort of recreation. If you're buying this thing thinking I'm gonna go out and have a ton of fun with it, realize that you can have a lot of fun, but the limits are very easy to hit. This is not the sort of machine where you're kind of trying to find the limit. You're going to find the limit quickly, and you're going to live on that limit if you're trying to run on trails at high speeds. And you know what? What are high speeds? Well, I did a top speed run just to test how quick this thing would go, and you can see it here. All right, let's find out what this little 500 can do. Top speed run in this farmer's field. In high range, 2-wheel drive. Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1, go. Well, I wanted 80 kilometers an hour, but 79 kilometers an hour is as quick as I got. It's about 50 miles per hour here in this little side-by-side, which is not too bad. So I think the big takeaway here is just how simple this machine is. It's getting everything done. There's no features in here you don't need. Everything you're going to be using is easy to figure out, and it's easy to drive. We also do have power steering here, I should mention. Power steering, to me, is actually a little bit on the heavier side now. I like that. I prefer heavier power steering. That is subjective though. But yes, even power steering is here. So all those features you want are here. Dead simple to hop in and operate all your stuff with you. This is really an honest little work machine, and that's what comes across when you're out here driving it around. Well, folks, we are coming to the end of this one. Now, I do have to drop one other number on you. The price for this Magnum Pro 500 XTX, you're talking about $15,500. Now, Argo is really known for those 6x6 and 8x8 amphibious vehicles, and they were being left behind when it came to ATVs and side-by-sides, but not anymore. They've been building these things now for quite a few years, and they obviously know what they're doing. Case in point is right here. This is an honest little work machine, and if you have jobs to get done around the farm, house, or woodlot, this would be a perfect machine for you. So drop in the comments, let me know what you think of this Argo side-by-side. While you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of our channel, and then come right back here to TK Power Sports to see what we're testing next.